Hey everyone, back at it. It is Sunday. I did work on the car a little bit after I got off with the last video, researching, looking at sensors, looking at this. I did look at the data log last night quite a few times, and we lost signal on our coolant temperature. It kept going to 180. If you unplug it, it goes to 180. Um, this car's had many computers, many iterations, keep adding stuff on, keep stuffing stuff in. So I have made a decision. We are pulling the entire wiring harness out of this car, and I'm going to go through the entire thing. The only thing that I have right now that I do want to add that we weren't currently using was the back pressure, coolant pressure, and I am going to go ahead and stage it for EGTs. So I'm hoping this is the last iteration of this wiring harness. Like I said, it's had many iterations. This has had Mega Squirt, this has had Spaduino, and even those went through iterations, adding stuff as we went. Um, and right now we run Project Titan ECU. It's a standalone. Half of it is a standalone harness, half of it's tied into the factory harness. I think we're going to get rid of the factory harness altogether. But once I start ripping all this apart, I'll figure out how I want to do this, what's the easiest way, and make this simple. I want to tuck everything. I'm really going to concentrate on making the engine bay look a little bit better, hide some things. Yes, we're going to try to do some body work. I got new doors for the car. I really want to do a better job at making this thing look presentable. I'd love to wrap the car eventually. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. For now, I am just looking at everything, all this wire. I was messing with this, trying to figure out some things. That's the coolant temperature sensor. I'm going to rip the dash out to make this a lot easier. I want to get a shift light to go into this opening here. Get rid of the little thing. I want a bigger light. During the day, that is not bright enough for me. A little pen light is definitely not bright. I want to get a big old bulb for this, maybe with some lenses. I'll figure out what I want to do. I want to mount my 10-inch touch screen into the dash. I want to do a little bit better cutting and adjusting that. So yeah, we're gonna concentrate on making this look a little bit better, run a little bit better as far as sensors and all that. I really want to do a better job. We're gonna make this. My goal is 10s this year. I really want to shoot a 10. We sat down. We looked at the schedule this year. There's a couple import stuff. We are in, or at least grandfathered in, veteran, whatever you want to call it, for Rocky Mountain 2.0. And I think I'm going to try to get into 1.0. Those go on sale. Those tickets go on sale for 1.0. I think it's February. It's coming up, February 16th, I think it is, or something like that. So I'm going to try to get into 1.0 and 2.0 this year. And I'm going to bring you a lot more content. I know I've promised it in other videos, but we are really going to try this year. I want to try to spend that time on racing, a little bit of YouTube, and we go from there. So, all right, I'm going to get back at it. Why does it always seem like you make a mess? Like when you're trying to clean stuff up and make stuff look better. It's just a royal mess right now. This is all the stuff we've added. Like, added. This is all added. There's the engine harness. I have that out. We're going to go through the harness, figure out what we want, what we don't want, what we want to just hardwired. I'm probably going to get like an aviation, like big connector to mount on the wall. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't know if I want to cut all this back. I want to make this engine bay look as clean as possible. So that's going to be the goal. Whatever it's going to take to do that, that's what we're going to do. So just figured to bring you along. I wanted to get to this point where I can see sort of how many wires, everything's labeled. Everything that's not labeled is basically not using. So I'm going to either cut that back and get rid of it, tuck it. But now I'm at a point where I want to like sort of remove the dash out of the car so I can sort of see, mount, make everything accessible, I really want to make sure this is just a clean build, you know, clean all the wiring up, just clean it all up. So that's the goal. So I'm going to clean the car out a little bit, take care of some of my tools, wrap some things up, and I'm going to start removing the dash. So yeah, I'll be back with you as soon as I feel like I want to show you what's going on. So, all right, bye. All right, well, like I said earlier, you seem like you're making more of a mess when you're trying to clean stuff up. And I'm going to tell you, this looks like a rat's nest. This looks like we pulled something out of a barn that sat there for 30 years. This is really bad. So yeah, it is just iteration after iteration after iteration. This looks like scum. So, but that's why we're doing this, to fix it. I will, once I start doing the wiring harness, I will explain exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and yeah, we'll do this together and go from there. I'm going to start just cutting zip ties, cleaning stuff up, pull what I can pull. I'm pretty sure I didn't hardwire anything. Everything's got connectors, so I'll just start pulling stuff out and we'll go from there. Alright, I was just messing around with something and figured I'd show you guys along with my shock that this thing still made 30 pounds of boost. Because if you can hear this, that turbo is shot. I'll pull it off of there. Probably can see it, but it's got so much slop in it. Honestly, I've never seen a turbo that made boost that had that much slop in it. And this is a ball bearing turbo, so I guess it's done. It's unfortunate. The thing's not even a year old. It does have some miles on it, but not enough for me to say that it should be done by now. So, but once I get it off, I'll show you guys the damage. Maybe we'll even pull it apart. At this point, it's no good. No sense of put new bearings in it. I mean, it didn't last less than a year. I mean, it does have a lot of passes on it, but I'll probably just upgrade to like a Precision or Garrett or something like that. I don't want to continue having to buy turbos and put it on there if I'm going to do log events for it. So anyways, just figured to let you know. Hey everyone, back at it. Let's get some more light in here actually. Boom. Back at it today. I took a couple days off. I did have to consult for a company, and actually my old company. And I'm back out here. It is Thursday, the Thursday after sick week. I ordered a bunch of parts. We're still sitting in the same spot with the wiring harness and the mess and the rat's nest and all that, but I did get some parts in yesterday, and figured I'd show them to you here. We do have a cheap eBay wiring harness that I do plan to just basically cutting what I want off of here. What I really enjoyed about, or what I really liked about the wiring harness is all new connectors. I do plan on pinning and checking everything, making sure everything's wired right, but really my goal was just to be able to get some sort of newer, not messed up, not ratty, not spliced together wiring harness. I did order a 47 Deutsch pin connector, basically like a bulkhead to go on the firewall. I ordered like the solder butt joints, new fuse block, relays. I got a couple more sensors here for some pressure stuff that I want to add, and I do have EGTs. I did order a controller from Innovate. It's a TC-4 Plus that will be here today, because I do want to start running EGTs on here. As you might as well, I have enough inputs for it, so you know, in order to keep this thing alive, I'm just trying to add everything that I need or want on it. And so yeah, I'm gonna set up a couple time lapses. I've got to get in the car, and I've really got to organize the wire before I go do this. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this yet, but we're gonna create all new everything. It's gonna be pretty good. I do have a old harness that I have ripped apart before when I had an old computer that I did run standalone on. It doesn't have exactly everything I want though, so I don't know. I have about 15 wiring harnesses that I purchased off somebody. Probably it's got to be 4 years ago. I think I paid $50 for all of them. Some of them were in good condition, some of them were in bad condition. I have to go through it. I did bag them and mark them. OBD1, OBD2, good, bad, missing sensors. So I'll probably find one that I just really need the engine stuff, like the stuff crossing over from, oh, let me just show you. So there's this plug here goes into the car, and then this set of plugs here come in. I think one of these is tack. You know, this is like the dash stuff pretty much. There is some injector stuff there that I don't really need anymore. So yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna lay this out, figure out what's here, make sure everything works first before I hack it apart. And I'll set you up on a time lapse as I'm doing this. Not going to be anything exciting. There's not much explanation to this. It's just very tedious, double checking, triple checking work. I don't know. Once I get into the car and start hacking stuff in there, I'll bring you along a little bit. And obviously it's hard to work and hold a camera at the same time, but maybe I can set you up on something and at least explain a little bit of what's going on. So anyways, I'll be back with you. Bye. All right, so what I did is I put red tape on all the connectors that I don't need, like the IAC, map sensor, let's see, oil, dummy light. This literally says extra on it. This I did not label because I'm going to be using half of it. I'm going to use one wire off of it. This is the loom to go to the tack. So I'm going to use one of those wires. So anyways, and then I just put some yellow tape to keep these pieces on just because they were falling off already. So intake air temperature, I will have to replace this plug because I have a GM one. So I'll replace that. So yeah, I just did this. I have not verified the wiring yet, but I pretty much just went through to, just get rid of some stuff. This plug here is to the distributor. So with the other one, this one here. So, but this one I'm going to actually use the wires for the coil-on plugs. There's enough wires here for me to use that, the coil-on plugs, plus a couple extras if I want. So I'll cut that plug off, wire my own stuff into that. Try to utilize as much of this wiring harness as possible. The whole idea is to make it clean and tuck it. That's really one of my goals. I had wires everywhere, make the under the dash look a little bit more presentable and more usable. Meaning, if I have a problem, I know where I'm going instead of all these wires crossing over and spliced in. And like I said earlier in the video, it's been many additions to sensors and this and that over time. So, yeah, anyways, so I just figured to let you know this is where I'm at. Now I'm going to start pinning, marking, and I don't know, go from there. What I'll probably end up doing is starting on the ends and modifying that stuff. So once I get to doing this, I'll make a list of what's going where, because this is, I can pretty much pin this with the Deutsch connector right here that plugs into the car. I'll make a map of how that is and go from there. So open the door, starting to look feel a little better. When I woke up it was like 52 degrees out. So anyways, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna turn the music back on and go at it. Alright, back with you. I had some lunch, and while I was making some lunch, this came in the mail. This is the Innovate TC4 Plus. This is what I'm going to use. This is a thermocoupler amplifier. So this is the box I'm going to use for my EGTs. This has an analog out and a serial out. They do have a logging software, what's called Logworks. I do plan on running their Innovate, the LC2 wideband, which also can daisy chain into this and also be logged on their Logworks program. I do not really plan on using it for now because all this information is going to be logged into the ECU that we have, the Project Titan. So, but we'll see. I mean, there's options. There's a little patch cable here that you can link them with together, and yeah. So this is it. I'm still going and making my list of inputs and outputs and colors and what I do. I'm still waiting on the Deutsch connector. It says it's out for delivery, but I'm still not ready for it yet. I'm still doing all the pinning, all the double checking, and eventually here soon I'll be taking the connectors that I need and starting to pin what I want on the new wiring harness. So anyways, figured I'd give you an update. I'll probably sit you down and do a little bit more, maybe time lapse as I start doing these connectors. So alright, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I have been working diligently on this wiring harness. I've extended some wires. This is for my boost controller, which took place of my map sensor because I have an internal map sensor on the computer. That stayed the same TPS. This was just transferred over to coolant pressure. VSS stayed the same. I do have an extra fan. The ground staying the same. Let's see, what else did I switch over? This is engine coolant temp. I did switch it over to a GM style. Let's see here. Oh, and this was my distributor wires, and now it is coil, all my coil plugs. I did put a new end on this because I am trying to tuck it, and I found a spot we can use as a ground. And so yeah, it's coming along. My Deutsch connector is still not here. I believe it's sometime somewhere around 5 o'clock. Let's find out here. It is 5:15. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away. I may actually, I'm gonna lay this in and plug this all in because I should have everything. I should have everything that I can plug this into the engine other than the Deutsch connector, but at least if I have to make any modifications, stretch everything. I try to do my best to figure out where it was gonna lay out. I did bring it over there a couple times, lay a couple things out, and plug a couple things in, see if there was enough room. So actually, I think I'm gonna do that right now. Actually, will bring you along for this. I'm gonna clear a couple things off this car, and yeah, I'll bring you along. All right, I'm back with you. I grabbed the Deutsch connector and ate dinner real quick before I headed back out here. But this is what I've been talking about. So this is a 47 tooth Deutsch, just massive Deutsch connector. It's got the same sort of pins that you use, the little tool. So this is what we're going to pin. We're going to mount this piece on the firewall. It's got a little clamp and nut there. And yeah, that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to finish with putting the wiring harness in and making sure I like where everything is at. Right now, there's a couple of spots I'd like to maybe zip tie back and just push things out of the way a little bit. But I definitely think this is going to look a lot nicer. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably just leave you guys on here with a sort of time lapse here and go from there. Alright, well, it looks like I'm probably not going to get to anything else. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. I have been out here since, I believe, about 8 o'clock working on most of this. Yes, very time consuming, tedious, especially if you want it done right. And, yeah. So, I don't know how much longer I'm going to have, or I'm going to go. And I went through 3 GoPro batteries already. So, I don't know. Well, for everybody that is new to the channel or wants a recap, I don't even know where I'm at. I don't do videos very often. This is a 94 Honda Del Sol. It has got a D16A6 bottom end block. It's got a Z6 head. It has Aries pistons, Manley rods, stock crank, King bearings. It's got an ATI dampener on it. It's got an ACL oil pump. The head is got a Skunk 2 level 2 cam. It's got BC springs, titanium retainers and keepers. It's got a T1 Ramsey trigger setup. So no distributor. It's got a 1320 turbo manifold. It currently has a blown up GTX 3071R billet wheel eBay turbo. That is no good anymore. It's got a Skunk 2 Ultra intake with a 80 millimeter, I think, throttle body. It has a Project Titan ECU, which I'm sure nobody's heard of. It's a $330. I think actually, I don't think they make this version anymore. This is 1.0. They have a 2.0, and I think it's like $350 now. Which it has Bluetooth capabilities to do some sort of dash gauge setup now. It has a S20 transmission with MTM semi-straight cut in third and fourth, and an M Factory LSD with a carbon synchros. Yes, sounds good. I do have a MTM final drive, which this is a 425. I'm spitting everywhere. I do have a MTM final drive with it's like a 4.5. This is a 4.25 that's in here now. And I do have a longer first gear for this car that's semi-straight cut also through MTM. So it has full exhaust. It has a G plus radiator that barely keeps up with this thing. I'm going to try to figure out what to do about cooling this thing. I do have the battery located in the back. It does have this catch can from, I think, eBay probably. It does have a roll cage. It's not an 8.5, but it's good enough for a 10.0, which is about all my goals for this car is anyways. Let's see here. I believe it has an like stage 3 eBay clutch in it that probably has 75 to 90 passes on it. Probably 10 or 12 passes that are 11-second passes. Not easy. It does have flex fuel sensor in here. It's got 1450 FIC injectors, fuel injector clinic injectors. I don't know. I bought this car for $400 5 years ago in the attempt to start getting into the import stuff. If you look around, most of my other stuff is, here's an 81 Corvette. There's a 2001 Corvette. I have an 83 Olds Cutlass with a Corvette engine and a Paxton Novi supercharger. I have a 99 S10 with an LT1 in it. And what else do we have? 74 Nova. Yeah, so this is my only real, I would say, import. I do like racing this. It's different. Honestly, it drives really well. So anyways, I'm going to hang it up there for now. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment if I don't get back to you today. Otherwise, you won't see that. I'll do that tomorrow. So, all right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.